Okay, this is my first lesson on the basic piano theory. And what I'd like to do in this lesson is introduce you to the grand staff. And what is a grand staff? By definition, it is when music on two staffs are joined by a brace. Typically, the upper staff uses the treble clef and the lower staff uses the bass clef. So let me show you what they're talking about. First thing we need to do is create a musical staff, and we need to create two separate musical staffs. And a musical staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces. So let's go and do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to put a little space in between there. We're going to repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me forewarn you that my handwriting techniques aren't the best in the world. They never have been, and I guess right now it's too late. They never will be. So hopefully you'll be able to make out my chicken scratch that I'm actually going to write on this thing. So now you have 2 musical staffs, and so now what we need to do is convert them into a bass clef staff and a treble clef staff. And what does by definition, it states that the treble clef staff is normally the one that's on the top. So let's go ahead and let's create that. And what we're going to do now, we're going to create the bass clef staff, which it states that the bass clef staff is normally on the bottom. And what we need to do at this point, we need to draw a bar line to help make that connection. And sometimes you hear the treble clef referred to as a G clef. And the reason it's referred to as a G clef because this line here is where you would put your G note. And so, as you can see, you have a half a circle on that G clef on the G line. So that's why it's referred to sometimes as a G clef. And on the bass clef is sometimes referred to as the F clef. And why is it that? Because this line here is where you would put your F note. So you have the 2 dots with the F line in between those 2 dots. So sometimes referred to as the F clef, sometimes referred to as the G clef. So now, by definition, it says you need to join these by with a brace. So we're going to create the brace. That's about as good as it's going to get for me. And then we're going to draw another bar line here to close that out. And you probably ask yourself if you, well, what notes are normally going to be played on the treble clef and the bass clef. If you looked at or reviewed any of my Hammond lessons that I posted on the channel, or even the initial basic piano lesson that I posted, I only have one lesson there up under the Piano 101, the basic piano stuff. If you reviewed those lessons, I've talked a lot about the middle C. So you should know what middle C is at on the piano. If you don't, then just go back to any of the lessons that I have posted on the Hammond or the lessons for the first lesson on the basic piano. You have the middle C, and on the middle C, treble clef would be anything that goes up the piano. As we said, up the piano is to the right. So it's going to be to the right of middle C. So 1, 2. That's the treble clef notes to the right of middle C, and the bass clef notes are to the left of middle C. So I think that's as far as I want to go on this particular lesson. I'm going to do another lesson, and on that lesson I'm going to actually add some notes to the grand staff, and we'll just pick it up from there. So hopefully this has enlightened you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And if you like it, leave a comment and just shoot me an email and let me know what you think about it. And until the next time, have yourself a great life.